Now recording.
How exciting. Shout out to Craig.
The robot bear.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Blast ball.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does
Oh my
whatever
god.
a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there
I
goes
never
the
saw the cartoon.
Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a streak of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big bang up. Wherever there's a hang up, you'll find the Spider-Man.
Those vocals at the end.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 12 of Attempted Topics. I'm Jeremy,
I'm Steven.
and we are here to discuss a film
One
that
of,
has divided us for years, you would say.
one of my favorite superhero movies ever.
Um,
It might actually be my favorite superhero movie ever.
like of all time.
Yeah.
Give
Top 3 for sure.
me a top 3 that you could think of off the top of your head.
Okay. Dark Knight. That would be number 1. Amazing Spider-Man 2, which we'll be discussing today. And Birds of Prey.
Wow.
Only because I'm biased and I like Harley Quinn.
That's certainly a list. I would go off the top of my head, so without any research. Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and Logan, maybe.
Mm.
It's a very generic list.
You're a Batman fan.
No. Replace Logan with Watchmen.
Okay, I've never seen either one of those.
Watchmen was like Zack Snyder's first attempt at a superhero movie.
Mm.
And then he made Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman and part of Justice League.
We don't discuss those.
No, I'm excited for his version of Justice League, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
Watch it be the same thing.
That's what I'm worried about, because I don't know. I really do like Batman vs. Superman, but I'm very cautiously optimistic about because I just don't trust him as much anymore.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about Justice League or Zack Snyder.
Not today.
Coming soon, though. Probably. I'm sure we'll get there. We're here to discuss The Amazing Spider-Man 2, directed by Mark Webb. Did it? Webb?
Webb.
I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why he got the job. It's like, oh, it'll be a good pun.
Because he has Webb in his name.
I'm trying to look up what other movies he directed, because I'm actually not sure if he is known for making any better movies. Producer.
Does he need to?
He directed 68 things, apparently. It looks like he's more of a TV director and a music video director. Like
yeah.
it says he did a couple episodes of the Limitless TV show. Like a lot of chemical romance videos.
Hmm.
POD, remember them? Shout out Rey Mysterio.
Oh, he directed Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney.
I'm
And
having a hard time.
Wake Up by Hilary Duff.
I'm having a hard time finding like any movies he actually directed besides The Amazing Spider-Man. This movie called Gifted is one of them, and 500 Days of Summer are two that I found. Gifted actually has good reviews, so maybe he does have talent when it comes to movies.
The Only Boy Living in New York. The Only Living Boy in New York. Correction. Oh, he's directing Snow White live action.
So,
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Well, Andrew Garfield is brilliant. And I thought he did a good job as both Spider-Man and Peter Parker. He is my favorite Spider-Man. Harry Osborn is great. Gwen Stacy is my favorite significant other for Spider-Man. And Emma Stone did really good.
Is it just because Emma Stone played her? Like you like?
I just like Gwen as a character better than Mary Jane.
Did you know that Mary Jane was supposed to be in this movie?
Yeah.
Like I'm not familiar of the entire plot, but they actually like shot scenes with her as like a side love interest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know if I don't know. I feel like that would have just made the movie even more crowded than it already is.
Because that's how Spider-Man 3 felt to me.
That's my issue with
just to throw them in.
That's how I felt with the Green Goblin in this movie.
No, I actually really liked him, and I'm glad they did it.
And it's like when you give me a movie about a man who can climb walls, like I don't need it to be 2.5 hours. Like I don't know. I'm good at like 2 hours tops. But I don't know. This is just. I feel like this is just way too long. There's like 3 or 4 plots going on. Like they'll just throw in like Aunt May trying to support her and Peter. Like the whole Harry storyline is very it's very rushed.
I know. I really liked his storyline, and I think it really could have played out into movies, and it probably would have been even better. But I like what they did, and he was obviously going to be in the third one if they ever plan on making it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like they like teased so much for like a future movie, and then it just didn't happen. I'm not like fully familiar with the like the behind the scenes stuff, but I know there was like a big like leak involved in the emails got leaked or something from Sony, and like it got out that Andrew Garfield wasn't too happy on the set, so it just after this one came out, it kind of just fell apart. But I watched this movie 2 days ago, and then I watched Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Mhm.
Watched that last night, and like when you compare the two, I feel like there's more. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say passion, but it's like okay. Here's what I'm trying to say. The Marvel movies are just too much of a formula.
Yeah.
I mean, like this movie felt like it was its own thing, and it wasn't just a small part in a massive story.
Mhm.
Like I know they were teasing future movies, but it still felt like it was the beginning of a small story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I do I like the smaller tone of this movie instead of just being aware that Peter Parker or Spider Man is in this like massive universe.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I like that too.
um, I just felt like this movie was way too crowded for what it was. Um, like the issue is somewhere there's a good movie in here.
I
Like I don't
like
know if you take Electro out, I think it's a good movie. Well, I don't want to say that. Um, like something.
because
I don't know what you would do
I
to make
really
it a good
I
movie,
really
but
did like
there's just too much going on.
yeah
Go ahead.
I really did like Electra, but I felt like they didn't need him too much in the movie. He was just like a side plot to get Harry to turn into the Green Goblin. But I really did like their dynamic for what we saw of it. Like them as a duo, I thought it was cool.
Do you know if Electro was supposed to be in the Sinister Six?
I'm not sure if he was supposed
I
to
know,
die. I don't know if
I know,
more.
like the Rhino is.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
I know Rhino was, and then I'm assuming it would have been Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus, and Vulture, and yeah, I think he could have been in it.
I'm just gonna look it up real quick because I have that
This
technology to
was,
just Google who the Sinister Six is
there's so many different
instead of.
versions of him.
Is it like the Spider-Man version of the Suicide Squad?
A little bit, yeah.
So it says
Like you could interchange a lot of the people.
it says Doctor Octopus, Vulture, Electro, Mysterio, Sandman, and Craven. I'm not too familiar with the Spider-Man backstory.
But
I'm more of
sometimes,
a Batman fan than I am Spider-Man.
see, sometimes they'll throw in like Scorpion.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of like the Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
where you just give or take some characters. Um, okay, so where to begin in a movie that is over 2 hours long?
Well,
About a
it starts with a flashback with Peter's parents, which I think I didn't need this part of the movie. I mean, I really loved the whole movie, but I didn't really need the backstory with his parents at all.
yeah. This is just another part of what I'm talking about, where like there's a whole subplot involving uh, Peter's parents being like not secret agents or whatever you want to call it. They're wanted by the
Mhm.
government for they create these like poisonous spiders, and they want to use them as like a biochemical weapon or something. And
Mhm.
Peter's dad doesn't want to do that. Um, it's just like another another storyline that we don't need.
Yeah. Did you notice when he said, "I didn't have time to kill the spiders"?
No, I didn't. Oh yeah, I did notice him say that.
I was like, "How?"
And like, I'm
Unless
jumping.
they don't die.
I'm jumping like way ahead, but how Peter's dad says that like the like it could pretty much only affect his bloodline.
Yeah.
Like part of what I like about Spider-Man is that he's just a guy who happened to be in the like the right place at the right time. He got bit by a
Mm-hmm.
spider. It didn't have to be um like his family didn't have to be involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Like in Into the Spider-Verse, like Miles Morales is just in the subway and gets bit. It's not like his parents are secret agents or anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be that bloodline.
Yeah, they have a certain bloodline that only they can get affected by it.
Yeah, like they're on a plane trying to escape and they leave Peter behind. And I feel like the scene was very of the time because The Dark Knight Rises
Mm-hmm.
starts off with a big plane crash. And it's like, I feel like they were just trying to rip off what was popular at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now, in the movie,
it's like blatant. Go ahead.
I know both of them died after the video was uploaded of him talking. Peter's dad.
Mhm.
But they did have that scene where they were going to keep his dad alive, which I'm glad they cut, even though the acting was really good in it. Because then it really would have felt like, all right, they're doing way too much now.
That's probably the best acting in the movie, and it's a deleted scene.
One of them, yeah.
So yeah, like his parents die in the plane crash, and then like we cut to modern day, and it's Paul Giamatti being chased like Beverly Hills Cop style. Like, you know that scene in Beverly Hills Cop when Axel Foley's in the back of that truck and they're driving through town.
I can't really remember those movies that well. It's been way too long.
And do a little foreshadowing in the chase because because Jamie Foxx is walking down the street and he's just like a generic like bumbling idiot. He's just carrying these
Mm-hmm.
blueprints.
He's the blueprint guy.
I'm very unsure of his job.
Here's Peter's eyes and ears.
That's true. But I was I was unsure of his job because I thought he was like a janitor the first time I watched it. Then I was like, he's carrying blueprints,
Yeah,
and
he
and like
I
toward
don't
the
know.
middle of the. Oh, go ahead.
I'm not too sure either, because I didn't think he was a janitor. I was like, oh,
They
maybe
they
he's just like an engineer or something, and he builds stuff.
they
But
leave him
nobody
in
ever sees
charge
him.
of they leave him in charge of the experiment on his own. So like he has some sort of important job.
Yeah, a guy from the office was very rude to him
Yeah, Ryan from The Office.
on his birthday.
So yeah, like a taxi is flying at Jamie Foxx and Spider-Man uh grabs the taxi and whatever. Jamie Foxx is like a big Spider-Man fan. So he's like, "You saved my life." And, Spider-Man tells him, "You're my eyes and ears, and I need you." And
Hmm.
we we carry that through the entire runtime of this movie
Yeah, because that comes back later.
multiple times. So Spider-Man is like hanging on the he's hanging on the front of a car, and uh, is it Gwen who calls him?
Hmm.
And his ringtone is the Spider-Man theme song.
Yeah, they do
And
that when he was messing around with the battery too.
yeah, and I don't understand because like these movies are like the reason for rebooting these movies is because it was supposed to be like the same tone as The Dark Knight, where it was like serious and dark and realistic.
Yeah, that's how the first one was.
But then you have scenes like this where it's trying to be self-aware and funny.
And I put that,
And
and I actually did put that in my notes. Since I like Spider-Man, I liked how he was funny in this one.
he works better as a funny character.
Yeah,
But I
because
just don't
he felt more like Peter in this movie than he
don't
did in the first one.
I just didn't understand the shift in tone.
Yeah, maybe they just did it because maybe people didn't like the darkness of the first one.
I feel like Batman can be like Batman's supposed to be a dark character,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since they did that, it's like a bunch of different superhero movies are trying to like copy that dark tone.
Yeah.
Like Watchmen did it, but Watchmen is supposed to be dark, so it worked there. But then, like Man of Steel was a dark movie, and I think Man of Steel is okay. Superman doesn't have to be dark either.
See, the thing
Because
with a lot of superhero movies, I have trouble remembering them.
I do too.
But with this one, it sticks. So I feel like maybe that's another reason why it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, because it's happened a ton of times. Like I'll go to the movies and watch a, MCU movie, and I'll be like, "Oh, that was a pretty good movie." Like, "Oh, that's one of my favorites of the year," and then in 2 weeks, I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, that happened to me with Justice League too.
Yeah,
Like
I think
at least with movies like maybe Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, I remember the movies,
yeah. I don't
whether
know
I
if
liked
that's
them or not.
I don't know if that's just like a Marvel problem or no, because you said you remember Birds of Prey. I don't know.
Yeah,
For me, it's pretty
I
much
think
a
it just
Marvel
has.
problem, just because they all feel the same for the most part.
I think
Everything all
for
right?
me, yeah, the fan fell.
Okay, go ahead.
I think for me, it just depends on whether I like the superhero or not.
That's true. I highly recommend Watchmen. We need to do an episode on Watchmen. But back to the Amazing Spider-Man
I
2.
do want to.
So, um, like while Spider-Man is doing this, Gwen is giving her speech at graduation, and the speech is another thing that comes full circle later on in the movie.
Her beautifully written speech.
Yeah, and no senior in high school gives a speech this well.
No.
I would like to point out that Andrew Garfield was 31 when this movie was made. And he's playing a character who's graduating high school. So
Yeah, they could have skipped the high school part.
yeah,
I hate how he's always in high school. I think one of the reasons I like the video game so much is because he's an adult when you start.
and he just has adult problems instead of high school problems.
Yeah, like he's been Spider-Man for like 8 years.
So Peter starts having these like PTS visions of or PTSD visions of Gwen's dad, because at the end of the first movie he promised Gwen's dad that he would never date her because he's a like her dad was aware that he was Spider-Man and he knew the danger that she would be in.
Yeah,
So
they break up a lot.
I was about to say that they break up like 8 times in this movie. And the first time they do it, which I have it written down in my notes, it's like a weird like you can tell there was a disconnect between the writing and the directing, especially in this scene. And it's like another one of those things where I'm unsure if it's a comedy or a fish, and like his mouth is filled with feathers in one scene. So
And they added little comical parts with he was cleaning out the chimney.
the American flag.
The whole argument about washing laundry.
Yeah, he's like, I was just washing the American flag. She like washes the flag. So we see some superhero stalking, which is very rare in these superhero movies that we see some super stalking.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rest of us just have to creep through windows and stuff, but he's on top of buildings and
the funny part is later when she finds out, she's like, "I knew it."
yeah. Like he tells her I've been following you everywhere.
Once a day, sometimes more.
Want to take over for a little bit? We're at the part where you see Max's shrine.
Yeah, he has like Spider-Man all over everything. He made that little doll, and then he has pictures everywhere.
He's having conversations with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was kind of creepy and insane.
I feel like
Then he only
it
gets
might have.
worse later.
I feel like it might have been like an undertone where Max liked Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to say it for one reason or another.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's
kind of got that.
What's
vibe.
worse? That? Yeah, I got that vibe too. What's worse, that or spider stalking?
I don't know.
They're both pretty bad.
I feel like if Max could track Spider-Man, he would stalk him.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's Max's birthday, and he's with BJ Novak. I forget his name in the movie, but Ryan from The Office. He's with him, and he like BJ Novak gets Spider-Man's birthday wrong or something.
Yeah.
And we see what Max wants to do with BJ Novak, and like he chokes him or something, and then it like cuts to what he actually did. It's weird because that's the only time in this movie we see something like that.
Yeah. I don't like when movies do that. Unless it's... I think one of the only times they worked was Mean Girls.
It's like he choked his boss or something, and then it's like didn't happen. But it's the only time it happens in the entire movie.
Yeah. Maybe if it would have happened a couple other times with him, like specifically him, it would have been better.
So yeah, this is where we're introduced to Harry Osborn.
Yeah, Harry Osborn coming into the movie with a questionable haircut.
And a questionable story arc too.
I think, well, I like the story arc. I think the only complaint I had about him was the haircut, because it was a choice.
Okay, here's my issue with the Harry Osborn storyline. So his dad tells him that he's sick, and he's dying, and his dad is like in his 60s,
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, Harry, you have this sickness too," and it suddenly just takes over.
because they said that it started developing for his dad when he was like 20, and Harry is 20 in this movie.
Yeah, but like Harry deteriorates like insane speeds.
I feel like his dad used the venom or something on himself.
Because like I was unsure if it was like a placebo effect, like like it's like the thing where you know you're sick, so you get worse.
Yeah, it could
Like
be.
I want to stay home from school. I have a headache.
And then a
Now my
headache
throat
appears.
hurts. Uh, so yeah, this is already the third villain of the movie because we have Electro getting his origin story. We had Rhino early on, and we're introduced to Harry, who is becoming eventually becomes the Green Goblin. So we're like 40 minutes into the movie, and we already have 3 villains. We're at a villain like every 15 minutes.
And I actually felt bad for both Max and Harry. I felt like they were written as tragic villains, and I liked it. Because you can kind of see why they just flipped and did what they did to an extent.
Yeah, I just think I think Harry's reasoning for being mad at Spider-Man was very odd.
Well,
He's
neither
just
one of
going off.
them, neither one of them had anybody. Like, basically, they were just alone.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. Like the reason for wanting Spider-Man's blood is just like an educated guess. He's like fix everything.
Mm-hmm. I think because he was desperate.
So yeah, they cut back to Oscorp, and Max is behind to fix whatever they're doing. I'm not even exactly sure what they're building, like what the blueprints are for, why they have eels. I don't even know. I don't even know if it's explained.
No, I forget what he said the reason was or what he was fixing, but they were rude to him on his birthday.
Oh yeah, it is his birthday. So he falls into like he's working on it by himself because they leave him behind on his birthday, and
Mm-hmm.
he falls into the tank of eels, and for some reason, like the way of showing that he gets superpowers is that the gap on his teeth close. Like that's the because otherwise you're left to kind of think he dies,
Yeah.
but like the gap on his tooth is fixed, so it's suggesting that it's like fixing everything that's imperfect with him.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it fixing his teeth? Because it's just electricity. So like if he has I don't know what's another imperfection, uh like an ingrown toenail, does it fix that?
I guess so.
Or
Does
like
it,
if he has acne, does the acne go away?
or a unibrow? Well, he actually didn't have any hair after he was transformed, so yeah, that would fix that.
I mean, he does have a bad haircut, so it got rid of that.
Thankfully.
uh so somehow Peter gets into Harry's house because he learns that that Harry's dad died, and
Yeah.
Harry comes downstairs, and somehow Peter got into the house. I guess that's more the spider stalking.
Yeah. Or maybe they recognized him and let him in because they're friends. Even though it's been 10 years.
So it's like a really awkward conversation. You can kind of tell Harry wants nothing to do with him, and then suddenly he does.
Yeah.
Peter's going to leave, and then he's like, I forget what joke he makes, but yeah, they kind of.
I think it was something about a unibrow.
Yeah, it was because he says something. Yeah, he says something about his unibrow. Yeah, they break the tension, and they go to like the like I don't know, the ocean or the lake or whatever it is.
For a nice little chat, a nice little hangout session.
I'm not exactly sure if they ever explain why, but the people at Oscorp are listening in on their conversation because they're like kind of jealous that Harry now owns the company.
I think they're fishing because they wanted to get rid of him.
Do they say that though, or are they just kind of there?
I think they're just kind of there. But you could tell in the meeting that everybody was mad that he took over.
Yeah, and he makes the secretary like second in command.
Yeah.
They're also talking about how
he should be.
That's right. They're also talking about how like can't let anyone know about Max Dillon's incident.
Yeah, they're gonna keep him invisible.
Because I'm not sure. Does he like die? I mean, I know he doesn't die, but do they think he's dead?
Yeah.
So what do they do with the body?
I don't know where they thought he went, or if they had.
Okay, so he escaped or something. Like he left. Correct?
Yeah, because remember he was walking on the street, and they showed the way he sees things now.
Oh yeah, and like the car alarms are going off.
Yeah, and he could see all the lights a certain way.
Okay, for some reason I thought they were like hiding the body, but I remember now.
And he almost didn't know what was wrong with him until he saw himself on the screens at Times Square.
Yeah, I thought that's probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, I really like that scene.
That's kind of next, so we'll just jump ahead to that. So yeah, Max is in like he's stumbling downtown, and like for some reason he heads toward the most populated place in the city.
For some reason, I think he was drawn to it just because of all the power that was there.
That's probably it. Yeah, he kind of doesn't realize what's wrong with him, like you said, until they show him on the TV screens, because it's like, oh, there's a blue guy terrorizing New York, and he's
and he really wasn't. He was just confused, and he was scared.
Speaking of blue men, shout out to Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. You see a lot of blue dong in Watchmen. So yeah, like Electro has this dubstep music, and I think we're led to believe it. Hi, Shawn.
What you guys doing?
We're recording an episode of the podcast.
Oh.
Goodness. I wasn't ready.
We're talking about... You didn't watch the movie, did you?
No. Dylan's also on it. on his way over.
We're 45 minutes into the episode.
I was so confused. I thought maybe Meatball's son popped in.
That's what I thought it was.
No, but
I was like,
you should just keep this in here.
I will. A quick cameo from Shawn.
a quick cameo.
I just like to apologize to our listeners. I haven't been around much, but I'm coming back now. 45 minutes into the episode, and from here on up.
You're in the rest of the episode?
We're probably not.
He meant future episodes.
Yeah.
You better go to a quieter room because I hear kids screaming.
I can't. I'm the only one home, so I'll leave you guys to it then. I apologize.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you in the next episode.
You guys will. I'm sorry.
We're covering The Happening next.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, we all watched it together.
Oh, good.
Awful.
I'll have to watch it again because I don't remember, but I'm gonna get to the kiddos. Just, doing a quick pop in.
All right. Say bye to the viewers.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for having me.
All right. I was worried that was going to happen because I'm pretty sure everyone gets notified when I type in the group.
Yeah. I wasn't sure who was popping in.
All right, so Electro has this dubstep music, which we're led to believe everyone can hear, because later on in the movie he's playing like the Itsy Bitsy Spider, and Spider-Man acknowledges it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Maybe
there's like
that's what the sound of electricity is.
Like dubstep.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Electro has the only theme song in the entire movie that has lyrics. It's like Spider-Man, he hates me.
Yeah, the lyrics are very strange.
I think they're like his thoughts.
Yeah.
But he's also like saying he's saying his thoughts, so it's not like he's a voiceless person.
Yeah, he's telling Spider-Man how he feels because he was offended that he didn't remember him for a second.
Yeah, so Spider-Man shows up. Like as we said, I think we were cut off when we were saying it, but he's actually like happy for a second to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when the lyrics kick in, because it's like he hates me. He lied to me.
Did Jamie Foxx perform that?
No, I don't think that's his voice. The music is the music's done by Hans Zimmer and Pharrell, who are two people who you would normally think would be great at making scores to music, or scores to movies, I should say. But not in this scene.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan.
So, I mean, it's probably my favorite scene in the movie, but it ends very dumb, because Spider-Man literally shoots him with fire hose.
Yeah, and he has a firefighter hat on.
And in all my years of playing Pokemon, you can't beat electric with water. It's the other way around.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
That's
I thought it
true.
was dumb.
Maybe it works.
I thought it was dumb and didn't make sense. I don't know if, because in real life you wouldn't pour water on like a electrical outlet to stop it.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. It happens to work, and like water is his weakness, and we're just supposed to believe it.
Even though he was born in water.
So I think this is the part where Peter's back home, and he starts like obsessing over where his parents are at, or like what happened to his parents, I should say.
Yeah. I forget what triggered
And
it.
I forget too, but it's very like I can't stand this scene.
I think he found something in the closet, maybe.
I would do it for you. Baby, I'm not moving on. I love you long after you're gone. For you.
So yeah, this is like
Mm-hmm.
a $200 million Sony commercial, because they're like plugging Philip Phillips and putting him in scenes he doesn't belong in. Like everyone's using like Sony phones and laptops and headphones.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Now, no disrespect to him. Good voice. He was on American
Good
Idol,
voice.
and I remember him on American Idol. That's saying a lot, because a lot of American Idol people I can't remember at all. But
Not a good song,
the
though.
song was not it.
No. Neither was the scene.
Especially in this movie.
It's just so
Yeah,
random to play that song in that scene.
Yeah, I love the movie, but I don't like the that storyline. And he keeps bouncing back to it. Like basically that storyline was just there to distract him. So other people could do other things while he's worried about his parents and their
It's like
backstory.
the amount of things going on right now. Do you have to? Is this the time?
Yeah. And while all that's happening, Harry's illness is rapidly increasing.
I'm telling you, it has to be a placebo.
And he knows that Peter took pictures of Spider-Man. Well, yeah, he assumes he took pictures of Spider-Man for the Daily Bugle.
Here's another thing I would like to point out. So, what's his name? J. Jonah Jameson or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He works at the Daily Bugle. They knew that they couldn't find anybody better than J.K. Simmons to do it.
Yeah.
So they only show emails from him.
I know.
They didn't even try.
The guy that was on the video game is good too.
Like I don't know why they didn't just bring J.K. Simmons back.
Yeah, they could have.
It's like one of those things where it just makes sense to have him.
They brought
Regardless.
him back.
Go ahead.
They brought him back in Far From Home, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they could have
Just put him in the movie.
I don't know if they had ever thought of connecting all the movies ever.
I don't think
like
so.
all three Spider-Mans until recently. But that would have been a way to hint at it if they had ever planned on it.
Yeah.
Or just use it as an excuse, be like, oh yeah, we were planning this the whole time.
Yeah. So yeah, for some reason Harry thinks just because Peter took pictures of Spider-Man that he knows him very well and he's able to get his blood.
And he was like, it was just pictures. So Harry's mad. Well, he's mad the whole movie, really. But now he's upset with Peter, and he meets Spider-Man, and he gets upset with him. He doesn't know it's the same person, but...
And there's like another another storyline that's going on is that Gwen finds out about the cover-up.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's way too much going on. Like Gwen knows, like it's just a way to put Gwen into the storyline. Like she remembers seeing Max in the elevator, and she's aware of like the situation that they're covering it up.
Yeah.
And it's like the people at Oscorp know that she knows, and Peter helps her escape in like that comedic that's what I'm looking for, series of events where he's like tripping over people and spilling coffee.
Yeah. And then she met Harry on the elevator.
Oh yeah. And that's how he knows that that's the girl that Peter's dating.
Mm-hmm.
Is foreshadowing to later when he finds out that Peter is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So they show Electro in, like, he's being held hostage. Somehow they're able to what's like they're trying to, like, somehow they're able to keep him under wraps because they keep him in water.
Yeah.
He's out of water. When he's out of water, for some reason, that still doesn't help.
They said he was sedated too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to live in a world without power, a world without mercy, a world without Spider-Man. It's like those. Spider-Man has nothing to do with those things.
He just felt betrayed.
Like he could have said like a world without betrayal. Or something like that. Like, you didn't have to specifically call out Spider-Man because no one likes him. Like, no one likes Max.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm skipping any more of the Harry stuff because I tend to gloss over that storyline. But like Aunt May finds out about Peter's shrine, or like his like conspiracy theory board or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably the best acting in the movie. It's actually in the movie besides the deleted scene.
Yeah. Well, there's still another scene.
Oh yeah, there is a scene, but we'll get there. She's like, I think this is the part where she's like, "You're my boy, regardless of what happened to your parents."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "I need to know," which makes sense, but like obviously she doesn't want him to know because I don't know if it's like a thing where she doesn't want it to affect their relationship, or she doesn't want his parents to know, or she doesn't want him to know that his parents were not bad people, but like involved in the way they were.
Yeah.
So pretty much they're traitors technically because they didn't want to use the spiders as like a biological weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know, it's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm fine with Peter. I'm fine with Peter just being a normal guy.
Me too. But yeah, he was able to find out from a Google search that there was a hidden tunnel in the subway. So I guess anybody could find that. And then Harry, they were framing him for Max's accident and turn him into Elektra. So they framed him, and he lost his job. But
yeah,
Felicia,
he's somehow fired from his own company.
Yeah. They just everyone just got together and framed him for it.
Go ahead, what were we saying?
But his assistant, Felicia, helped him out because she's the only one. I don't know why she was so loyal to him. Because
I think it's just because he put her in charge.
Could be, yeah. She
was
basically told
loyal
him
to his dad.
Yeah. Yeah, she basically just told him where they were keeping Elektra.
But I wanted to talk about this scene because I forget exactly what he looks up. I have it written down. Hold on. It's
Oh,
Roosevelt
Peter.
plus yeah. Okay, so he's upset because Gwen breaks up with him for the 7th time in the movie. And she's like, okay, I'm officially going to England for the 4th time in the movie.
Did you notice when he ran into her interview? He was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that this was for Oxford." And then they zoom out, and there's Oxford flags everywhere.
No, I didn't catch that.
That's another one of those comedy scenes. He's like, "Oh, I didn't realize this was for Oxford."
I didn't catch that. But
there's like 2 giant signs and a flag that all says Oxford University.
But the one thing that like is it's very convenient. So Peter's mad because Gwen is moving. He throws the calculator. It reveals the bus tokens. So he writes down Roosevelt plus subway plus D train into Google, and it gives him that location, which it's actually a real thing if you didn't know, because they transported President Roosevelt in like a private train like that. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not. I thought they just made it up for the movie.
This is actually a real place. But for some reason, Peter knows if he goes there with those bus tokens, it's going to reveal something. So he goes there, puts the bus token in, and a train just comes out of the ground. Somehow this train was hidden where they did all their secret research, and this is where like he finds the tape from his dad, and he's like, oh, it was a biological weapon, I didn't want to use it, or blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. And that computer was down there for a long time. There's no way that would be in proper condition.
No.
If I sit my laptop down and not use it for a week, it struggles. So I can't even imagine an old computer like that even working and and downloading the video.
No, like this doesn't work. Oh, but it's a Sony computer, so it might work. The Sonys are the best.
See, the only problems, or most of the problems that I have with this movie, were just the parent storyline.
It's just so convenient, and it's just it didn't have to be here.
No.
It would have took like a half hour off the movie at least.
Yeah, they didn't need it because it didn't really serve a purpose, especially because they deleted the scene where his dad's alive, and it would have been a good payoff.
Yeah.
And I feel like they deleted that because it would have taken away from Gwen's death.
Probably, yeah. It's like he loses Gwen, but then he gets his parents.
Yeah.
But that's all I had about that part. It's dumb and it's too much. Very convenient.
And they did that.
So
they did that so he would miss her call about her going to the airport.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And right. Yeah. We talked about.
I don't know if you watched all the deleted scenes,
but no, I just know about the alternate ending.
They reshot that whole thing because he goes home, and then Aunt May tells him that Gwen stopped by, and she's leaving.
This could have been a mini-series.
That's what I was thinking. If they had made this movie a couple years later, they could have had like 10 episodes or something.
Yeah.
And you know how much better?
There's too much going on for a 3-hour or a 2-hour movie. Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we covered Harry being framed. So Spider-Man shows up to Harry's house, and he's like, "Hey, I talked to Peter. You want my blood, but I can't give it to you." which gives Harry a reason to also want to kill Spider-Man. And he's like, "Oh, that blue guy that my company locked up. Let me get him because he also wants to kill Spider-Man."
Mm-hmm.
So he shows up to like this maximum security prison, takes down the guards, gets to Electro, and helps him escape. And I guess Electro's not sedated at this point because he's able to escape.
I think Harry did something.
Okay, because I was confused as to why he was able to escape this time, but not last time. Because they show him earlier, and I was confused why he just didn't escape then.
I know
Or at any
Harry
point.
triggered him, but Harry kind of woke him up. I think he turned whatever the sedation was off.
Okay, that makes sense.
And he didn't want to join him at first, but Electro did because Harry said, "I need you."
Yeah,
Which triggered him because Spider-Man said it earlier in the movie to him.
So Harry goes back to Oscorp with Electro. And
I like their dynamic together.
Yeah, I kind of liked it too. So they get the I think his name's Mencken or something like that. They get him to get the venom, and he's like, "It's not going to work because we've tried it on. We've been trying it for years and testing on it, and it doesn't work. Because obviously it only works in like Peter's family. That's why Peter was able to become Spider-Man with that venom, and it's not going to work in anybody else." So with that, I don't really mind. Maybe that could have been a twist, you know? It didn't have to be a long storyline revealing that.
Yeah. See, what happens to this Harry in one movie basically happened to Harry in the original trilogy within 3 movies.
Yeah.
His whole arc.
So, like he gets injected with the venom and he's dying. So he's like dying at a drastic rate. Like he's starting to grow claws and his teeth are deteriorating.
Mm-hmm.
He crawls toward the Green Goblin costume. My question is, like, what if he grabbed the octopus costume? Did he have to have the Green Goblin costume? Was that the one that healed him?
I feel like either costume would have healed him, just in a different way.
Okay.
Unless his dad specifically had that costume for him.
But I was wondering if he crawled to it, like, what if he would have became like Vulture or something, or the Rhino? I didn't know if it had to be that.
Yeah, I don't think it had to be.
So Gwen happens to be stuck in traffic, and somehow Peter knows that she's stuck in traffic, and he writes "I love you" in webs on the bridge.
I liked that part.
I did too, even though it was like 6th time they got back together in the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're like on top of the bridge. And did you notice whenever they have like an emotional love scene, they like talk very low to each other?
No.
They like talk low and fast and like whisper. I don't know. That's like a
No, I didn't even
pick,
notice
I guess.
that.
So at this point, Electro cuts out the power.
Again.
Like he's at the power grid. I think like Gwen's the one who knows that he's there, correct?
Yeah.
So Gwen knows he's there. Peter shoots his web and gets her stuck to a police car or a taxi or something.
I think she knew how to restore the power.
Yeah, and he's like, "You can't be there," which in hindsight, you shouldn't have been there.
True. It was funny when she yelled Peter.
Yeah. and this is what I was talking about earlier, where it's like I'm assuming everyone can hear the dubstep because in the middle of the fight, Electro's playing Itsy Bitsy Spider, and Peter says, "I hate that song."
Yeah, they definitely heard that one.
So I'm assuming the dubstep just follows them around.
Yeah. Dubstep is the sound of electricity in this movie.
So Gwen ends up stealing a police car and somehow gets to the power grid before the police can, even though there's a mass panic in the city.
Yeah, I don't know
And
how she goes through all that.
She's like, "It's my decision, and no one's going to tell me what to do." And I'm like, "Is it the time? Is it the time for that?"
And it's not right now, even though she did help.
But it's like, it's not the time to be like, "Oh, I'm an independent woman, and you can't tell me what to do." I don't even remember how Spider-Man beats Electro, to be honest. For some reason, these superhero fight scenes, like, they're always a blur to me.
They restored the power, and he was in there, and basically he was overloaded because he had too much power.
Okay. I'm assuming he would be back for the Sinister Six, but I'm not sure. Maybe.
I mean, it says he died right there, but maybe they just said he died because there was no sequel.
So, the Green Goblin shows up now, and because Gwen is there, he like connects the dots, and he's like, "That's why you wouldn't give me your blood, because you're Peter."
Mm-hmm. This is the part where, well, Gwen should have restored the power and just left.
Yeah, they should have just left. So yeah, this is the second of the fight scenes. By then, I'm checked out.
I never liked the final battle.
They rip off the Dark Knight again because Green Goblin's holding Gwen in the air, and Spider-Man's like, "Let her go." And the same thing happens in the Dark Knight. Like, Batman is like, "Let her go," and the Joker is like, something like, "Poor choice of words," and then he drops her.
Mm-hmm.
So the Green Goblin drops her, and they're like fighting in the clock tower or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like a bomb goes off or something. Like one of the Green Goblin's bombs or whatever goes off. I don't know. I thought it was stupid how the Green Goblin got beat because he pretty much like hurt himself.
Yeah.
So Gwen is falling. Spider-Man's like holding on to her, and like the gears on the clock are turning, and somehow that's able to cut the web, even though they're like very strong things who can hold the weight of anything.
Yeah, like it just snapped.
Yeah. So Gwen falls and smacks her head off of the concrete.
Oh, because he caught her, but it was too late. He caught her with the web.
Did you notice when it shows the web like coming out, it's like the shape of a hand?
Yeah.
And like, why?
I liked it.
I don't know.
I liked it, and the first time I saw it, I remember I was like, "Oh, that was so close."
Because it doesn't look like anything bad happened.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, that was so close," I thought she was about to die. And then I got upset and I can't watch the scene. I mean, I watch it, but tears
This
shed.
is probably the best acting in the movie. I know I said that about the Aunt May scene, but this is probably the best.
Tears shed and feelings are hurt.
So yeah,
Because I just like Gwen as a character.
yeah. So
Much better than MJ.
I don't know. I like the MJ from Sam Raimi trilogy.
I can't stand her.
They break up a lot too. I need to revisit those
Yes.
movies. I haven't seen them in years.
The main issue I have with that, I love the first one, but they just feel like the same thing because MJ gets kidnapped and Peter has to save her 3 times.
Yeah, we're gonna do a ranking of the Spider-Man movies sometime. So
Yeah.
I'll revisit them. So yeah, we have Gwen's funeral. Like Peter kind of stops being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We do see the like a tease for the Sinister Six, which never happened.
Mm-hmm. And Harry is still alive.
And he's like they show the octopus costume and Vulture and whatever else they show.
I just really want to see a Sinister Six in a movie.
In hindsight, I would have rather seen the Sinister Six than Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah. I agree.
They probably also could have coexisted. Because like we have the Joker movie and then we have Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, they could have coexisted, but I don't think Marvel was having that. Disney
No.
wants all the profits, so they're not gonna let Fox do something that they want to do.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
So yeah, Peter's watching Gwen's speech from the beginning, as we already discussed, and it's like
Beautiful speech.
it's like don't let hope die or whatever. So we see that Paul Giamatti from the beginning escaped from prison, and he is the Rhino from which would have been the Sinister Six.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's the Rhino. Gwen's speech gives Peter motivation to become Spider-Man again. And go ahead. And once again, there's a large crowd around a
metal rhino that could charge at you at any moment. He's shooting bullets. He could charge at you. I wouldn't be sticking around either.
No. This little kid runs out. Yeah, they're holding the mother back instead of. So yeah, Spider-Man shows up. This is the last time we see Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Just casually lets him have a conversation.
Like the whole, you would have Harry and Electro want Spider-Man dead.
Yeah.
The movie ends, which that seems actually in the trailer.
After they
I don't know if
were
you
like,
or
what Tom
movies, I
Holland's
should say.
movies did and not have done the origin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this could have been the first, or like not exactly like this, but you know, I don't know. There's a lot of good things. No, hold on, let me rephrase. There's a lot of potential in here that was not met. You gonna say?
It's funny. I was gonna say I wanted them to skip out on the origin story in this one, but I would have liked to see Tom Holland get bit by the spider and all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm glad they went with a kid in the new one with Tom Holland.
See, I'm not.
I mean, let me rephrase. I'm not glad they went with a kid, but I'm glad since he is a kid, that they went with a appropriate aged actor.
Yeah. How old is he? Like 22?
Probably somewhere around there. I know he was 17 or 18 when he like made his Spider-Man debut, so it was appropriate. Like I just feel like Andrew Garfield was too perfect looking for the role of Spider-Man.
Oh, he could have been this person that was Spider-Man for 8 years, like the video game did.
Yeah, like he didn't look like a nerd.
No. I don't think any. Well, I think.
Tobey Maguire did.
Yeah, he did. I don't think anybody else did. Like any other versions of him.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got for the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It's brilliant, and I
okay.
recommend it.
I used to hate it. Now I think it's okay. So maybe if I revisit it in the future, I will love it. Probably not, but we'll see. Do you want to do weekly recommendations, even though we're not weekly? I just realized that.
Recommendations. You know, I recommend The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I recommend the movie we've been talking about for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, why not? No, I recommend, if you haven't seen it, or if anybody listening hasn't seen it, that show Ratched, that's on Netflix.
I heard that was good.
It's almost like, because if you're an American Horror Story fan, you missed out on American Horror Story this year, but you get this show, and it's almost like it makes up for it because Sarah Paulson's in it, and she's always in American Horror Story.
Okay, I didn't even know they didn't do American Horror Story this year.
Yeah, they delayed it because of the pandemic.
Okay. Is that all?
Yeah.
Okay. I recommend the movie Butterfly Kisses. It's like it's a found footage. It's not really found footage. It's like a fake documentary movie about so there's this town, and there's like an urban legend where if you stare down this tunnel for an hour, you'll see this thing called the Peeping Tom.
Oh,
And,
okay, yeah.
And whenever you blink, he comes closer and he eventually kills you. So, like, no one can keep their eyes open for an hour without blinking, so no one could do it. But they get a camera set up and they record it for an hour, and Peeping Tom shows up on the camera. And every time the camera turns off and on, it's considered a blink. So every time, like, the camera turns off and turns on, he's closer.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
clever.
cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Very underrated horror film.
You said it's like a documentary?
Yeah, it's shot like the Poughkeepsie tapes, which I recommended before.
See, those are hit or miss for me. I'll still probably watch it because I like horror.
Like The House is October Built is not a good movie.
No, not at all.
There are some that are done very badly.
Yeah, that movie. No.
Yeah. Butterfly Kisses.
And Ratchet and The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
That's all I got for this episode. You have anything else?
No.
We will be back sometime with our next episode.
In the near future.
We're going to be talking about M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening. Another film that has divided us because I find enjoyment in it, even though it's a bad movie, and Steven didn't like it.
Yeah, wish me luck rewatching that.
We're also talking about doing a commentary on the film Southland Tales, which I've seen once and couldn't tell you what happened, so it would be like rewatching it for the first time.
And that's why I really wanted to do a commentary on that, because everybody says they don't understand the movie.
Yeah, so you'll be getting like our initial reactions on a movie that makes no sense.
Yeah, because I've never seen it before.
From the director of Donnie Darko. So like he made Donnie Darko, and like he was still controlled by a studio. Then he made Southland Tales, and it was like, do what you want, and this is what happened. we get 6 acts, and only 3 of them are a movie. The other 3 are a comic book.
Oh, jeez.
We're not going to read the comic book beforehand. We're going to try to figure it out as we go.
Yeah, we're just going to jump right in and see if anything makes sense.
So yeah, that's all I got. We've been recording for over 2 hours, and I got to go pee. So yeah, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, give us a rating on Apple Music, like us on Facebook, like our individual pages on Instagram.
_ in space.
Jer_Elliot. That's all I got.
And then we'll have either Spider-Man or Philip Phillips take us out.
Spider-Man,
I was about to say, I hope you guys enjoy the Philip Phillips that's playing right now. Unless the podcast gets taken down for copyright, then we'll be playing the Spider-Man theme song. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Or some generic music that sounds similar to Philip Phillips.
Thinking by President Buck. Right? Peace.
Bye.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big bang. Wherever there's a hang, you'll find the Spider-Man.